Socio-cultural changes in the individual and the society through technology and social media. This module will teach you about individuals, groups, and societies, and learning about multiculturalism. This module is prepared by Stevenson K, graduate student of the University of the Philippines, Open University. After this module, the students are expected to define individual and society in terms of culture, understand the concept of sociological imagination, explore how technology through social media affects the individual and the society as a whole, learn about multiculturalism, and think of ways how we can use social media in transforming the society for the better and the good and promote tolerance, understanding, and acceptance. In this module, we are to answer the question, how does technology and social media change the society and the individual, and how can we make sure these changes are for the betterment of the whole? Now let us define some key terms. What is an individual? In sociology, an individual is defined as a human being that is a part of a larger group. An individual cannot function effectively on its own, such as a popular quote, "No man is an island." This is where society comes to play. Now, what is society? Society is derived from the Latin word socius, which means companionship or friendship. Without society, a man, or an individual as we call it, will not be able to develop itself and function emotionally, intellectually, culturally, and of course, socially. All of us being individuals, and all of us being a part of several circles and groups, it is important for us individuals to develop ourselves intrinsically and outwards towards becoming better entities in our own social milieus. A good way to develop this is through sociological imagination. Sociological imagination is the ability of an individual to see everything that happens as a social function that affects all of us, not just ourselves. As C.W. Mills wrote on his first chapter, The Promise, on his work entitled Sociological Imagination, defines it as a quality of mind that will help them to use information and to develop reason in order to achieve lucid summations of what is going on in the world and of what may be happening within themselves. In simpler terms, sociological imagination is an important ability and skill of an individual to learn and understand everything that happens, not just generally on the society, but also on specific individuals that have lived under a different society other than his own, and to use those differences for acceptance and understanding of any differences that they may have in thought and in their ways of living. How important social events happen and how can we best understand situations that seem foreign to us can be best understood by sociological imagination. Now, how does technology through social media affects the individual and society? Technology through social media is a very important tool nowadays. Media evolved from just a one directional mode of mass communication into an intricate multi-directional web of information, sharing right directly on one's gadget or mobile phone. Disadvantages of social media have been an ongoing discussion between a large group of individuals. But we must also remember that technology is meant to better our lives, and in this case, our modes of socialization. To better understand and appreciate our sociological imagination through social media, let us proceed with our activity that will enable us to understand the differences between individuals and how diversity can strengthen the highly global society that we live in today. At the end of the activity, you are expected to learn how understanding other individuals, especially those that are most different from the community that you live in, can greatly affect our tolerance and acceptance of different situations. Here are the guidelines for the activity. This activity is entitled Connect Our Cultures. Connect both meaning the verb connecting and to relate this activity to social media. Here are the directions. First, create a 6 by 5 table. One column and one row will serve as your heading. On the 5-column headers, write different aspects about culture. For this example, I wrote food, holidays, family, clothing, and gender. It's up to you to create your own aspects that best suits your interest. Number 3, each row will then index you and 3 other people. Then write about the given cultural aspect with respect to your own experiences in the culture that you grew up with. Take note that you should write these answers on the row that corresponds to you. Here is an example of a 5 by 6 table that I created with an image of myself. Now the question is, who are those other 3 people? Using social media, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or any other platform that you use, interview 3 individuals who grew up and lived in another country. This may be a friend of yours from a different country, or this can also be your chance to make friends with somebody from a different culture. Now ask them the same questions that you answered and write their answers on the corresponding rows on their columns. Here is an example of the matrix that have been populated by my own picture and the 3 other friends that I will be interviewing for this experiment. Once you have completed your matrix, write an essay about the social interview experience and talk about the differences and similarities in the different aspects of culture that you and your friends have talked about. Close your essay with the most important lesson that this activity has taught you. Submit your answers and email them to your professor for evaluation. Individuals are the basic component of a society. We, as individuals, directly and indirectly control the world that we live in. Technology is invented to better our ways of living and be more connected to the distant world that we are living in. Let's use it for the better. Let's use it to bring us closer together for a world that is greater. Here is a list of references that I have used in the creation and design of this learning module. All other images not cited on this list are pictures from my own image gallery. I hope you enjoy this module. Happy learning!